coming through my neighborhood right when I leave. That is a very definition of what normalcy is. My mind has built that over time by me just being simply aware of my surroundings. So as you begin to have this mindset of awareness, begin to build these simplified circles around you of what's going on, who's in your space, and what are they doing. We can go to the next slide. The second mindset I want you to think of is one of perception. In this conversation, perception is going to be how we begin to organize and interpret what is happening around us. Awareness is that big picture, that Google Maps view, but perception is going to be when we walk out the door on that Friday morning and suddenly I see my trash can's been overturned in my neighborhood, everything's spilled out. I'm not having a top level view at that moment. I'm having a very narrowly focused view on something is out of place, something is wrong, something has got my attention. That is a good thing. And it's our perception in those moments, opening our senses, our sight, our sound, our smell, opening up our minds and being aware of all those inputs that are coming in that help to build on our safety and build that second piece off that mindset of awareness in our space. So next slide. If I want to be self-reflective here, and I want to be more perceptive of what's going on in the space around me, this is how we select, organize, and interpret all these inputs from our senses. As a police officer, and I know you've experienced these moments as well, have you ever had that you've been in a situation and you had that just chill at the back of your neck, like something's not right here? Or you turned your head reflectively at a sound, but you didn't really interpret that you heard it. It's just a reflex. It just happened. These are built-in warning mechanisms for us. There are our bodies telling us, hey, I'm sensing something. Open up to these inputs. Think about them. Begin to take your awareness and narrow it down, honing in on your perceptions. As an officer, I relied on this very heavily. It's a skill set. It's not something innate or unique to me in my profession. Everyone has these abilities. You just have to practice with them. Start small and build up to them. As an officer, my perception is very interlinked to my safety. And I believe that is 100% true for every one of us. Every one of us can develop these skills, practice with them, and develop them. So next slide. If we want to think about perception and opening ourselves up to our senses and really relying on them, we have to ask ourselves a very big question. And that's, we have to limit our distractions and what is distracting me in that moment. And I'm sure you all can guess our biggest distraction that we have every day is our cell phones. You know, you can see it in the hospital walking around every day. People look down, people are glued to their cell phones. I'm not immune to this. You know, as a police officer, I spent 8 years riding up and down the roads listening to the radio. I cannot stand listening to the radio anymore. So I rely heavily on podcasts and I like to hear discussions on topics. It's very interesting to me. Because of that, I'm frequently walking around when I'm mowing the yard, going for a walk in the evenings. I have earbuds and my cell phone in my hand. I'm guilty of it just like everyone else. Shows you how easy it is to fall out of these mindsets of safety, but it's also a good lesson that we have to manage our distractions and understand our limitations with them, but also, on the other hand, begin to use these tools that we carry with us every day more effectively. So, to put this into practice a little bit, let's go to the next slide. So, you're caring for a patient. They're yelling, screaming at you. They've got your attention. They've rattled you a little bit with their actions. It's very easy to fall prey to just those one sensory inputs. He's yelling, he's screaming. What I'm talking about here for safety is when we focus in on our perception, we begin to see clues that we might not have other missed. So if I just relied on my hearing, I may have missed seeing that a fist was being balled up. If I was just relying on my hearing, I may have missed watching an individual push their foot back and hit the bed as they bladed their body. Perception in this case about opening up our senses again. If you're in a room with a patient, if you're out in the lobby dealing with a patient, look for signs and behavioral clues that may alert you to increasing escalating behaviors. Fidgeting behavior, knee bending, how people blade their bodies, they bounce on their feet. They're staring intently at you, clenching their jaw, clenching their fists. All of these are clues you and I can look out for and train ourselves to open up to our perceptions about these to make good judgments about our safety. Let's go to the next slide. So, just as with awareness, this is a practice behavior. This is something you start small with and build on over time. Practice mindfulness with the tools you carry. We're going to talk a lot about cell phones in the next section, and building your confidence. Most of the things you carry that are distractions are also tools that you can use to improve your safety at home and at work. They serve a dual role. It's up to you to realize how you're using them, apply them properly, and also realize that if someone walks up to you in the hallway and startles you when you're on your phone, it's a good lesson you were distracted at that moment. So our last mindset, this is going to be one of confidence. To me, this is the most important one. It requires awareness and it requires perception. But confidence means that you have practiced these skills, means you've tried to apply them to your daily lives, you've put them into practice, and in doing so, empowered yourself to make good decisions when it comes to safety. Requires the previous two, but this one is the most important to me. Let's go to the next slide. Confidence. If you're walking down the hall confidently, you're looking up, you're looking around, and you're looking behind you. You are aware of your surroundings, and you're allowing your perception to build with any sensory inputs that are going on around you. I can do that with my cell phone. I can do that while I'm having a conversation. It's a little trick that you can begin to implement in your daily routines to help you build confidence and also to show others around you that you are confident in your space. And I say that confident in your space because it's very easy when we start talking about concealment. There are two different types of concealment. So one, we have our criminal concealment. It's dark at night. There's an individual, he's dressed in all black. He's hiding at the back of a parking lot. He doesn't want to be seen because he has ill intent. But let's go to the next slide. There are two different types of concealment. That was the first one. But did you realize that just by simply going about our daily routines, we can conceal ourselves from others? We can fall into the shadows, into the gray of just a normal, everyday routine. It's why, as an officer, when I directed traffic at night, I wore a reflective vest, had a moving light, had all my vehicle's emergency lights activated because I didn't want to fall out of sight. I wanted you to see me in that roadway so you didn't hit me. But on the other hand, if I park at the same place every day, and I do, up on Terrace View, I come in a park, I get my bag out of the car the same way, I take the same route into the hospital, I cross the street at the same place, I do all these things out of routine. I'm guilty of it just like everyone else. In a way, I'm falling out of people's view because I'm doing the same thing every single day. It would benefit me to change that up a lot because I'm increasing my awareness of different areas, meeting new people, doing things differently. That increases and builds on my confidence. Guilty of it just like everyone else here. Little steps, little changes improve safety. So if you want to avoid falling into those shadows, carry a flashlight with you. Your cell phone has a built-in flashlight. Park in areas of overhead lighting when you go out to the store at night. Use that phone as a light. It's light, and as we're going to talk about in a few minutes, it's a speaker. If you leave work, leave in a group, walk to the cars together. Next slide. So something to reflect on. Does my space offer concealment? We've talked a lot about actions that can serve as concealment, but our environment can as well. And this is one of the areas that I deal with in crime prevention and environmental design. So at my home, I like to keep my tree branches trimmed 7 feet and above. And I keep my landscaping trimmed for like my bushes and low growing shrubs at 3 feet or less. Why do I do that? Because it increases something we call natural surveillance. So it means people walking down the sidewalk or walking in the roadway in the evening get a full view of the front of my residence. They're walking security cameras for me. If we do this and we apply this perception like here at the hospital with us walking in from the garage in a group, more eyes increase surveillance. Everyone's a walking security camera and walking security protection for the other. No one's isolated. No one's falling out of view. We are each working together to build an environment of safety in that case. Next slide. Social media. This is a big topic in safety and social media. I encourage people with social media to maintain very strict boundaries between home and work. Be careful that those two don't blend together. Remember our conversations about space. When you think of social media, you got to have to understand social media is an open forum. And once you enter it and once you post in it, it cannot simply be taken back or taken down. I also encourage you in creating that boundary between home and work life, that sharing your personal information, including your phone number, is not done even when it seems harmless. People can have good intentions at the time, but understand people can be manipulative and people can change their intentions over time if something doesn't go their way. So make sure that when you're operating within this space of social media, that you're being very careful with your personal information and you're setting good boundaries with that. Next slide. We've talked a little bit about tools, especially the cell phone and how it can be a distraction. You are carrying stuff with you right now in your pockets when you walk to your vehicle that are tools that increase your safety. Flashlight. Your cell phone has a flashlight feature. Makes you stand out in the dark. But did you know that a bright light, if it's flashed in someone's eyes, even in broad daylight, will still startle them? It'll still give you 5 to 10 seconds of reaction time for you to get away. It's a tool even in daylight. Also on your cell phone, you have a speaker option. You can put a conversation on speakerphone. You can amplify noise around you. So if you're walking to your vehicle by yourself and you put a conversation on speaker, suddenly it doesn't seem like you're as alone as you were. You're building some internal safety features with that, even when you're alone. Your car keys, when you walk near your vehicle, it can serve as an alarm. It can serve as a distraction. Simple tools you carry with you every day One of the things I do encourage people to have with them, especially night shift workers, a high-powered flashlight that you can get on cheap. They're all over Amazon now. These are great, useful tools that bring attention to yourself when you're isolated and can serve as a very important safety tool feature for you later on. Next slide. So we're building awareness. We're building our perception. Work on our confidence now. How can I do this and implement this in my everyday lives? Talked a little bit out of them, but I'm going to specifically focus in on I'm providing care to a patient and I'm in a patient's room. So I'm in their space at that moment. How can I build my confidence there? What are you going to think of? You're going to think of your positioning. Do you have an exit to a nearby door handy? What's in that space? Think about what tools that could be used as a weapon in that space, what tools that could be used against you if they're grabbed, and making sure you have that proper exit from the room. Also think about who is in your space. Is someone with you in the room? Is there another staff member listening at the door? Always keep in mind, for those here at our primary hospital locations with police and security, you feel unsafe in your space, I need you to call me and I need you to tell me. And that's going to be very important here in this next section. Let's go to the next slide. This is going to come up a lot when we're talking about safety. Is it a crime to be suspicious? No. Is it wrong to think that someone's actions are suspicious? No. Then what good does it do me to contact and ask for a response from police or security here at the hospitals, and also for our providers not in the hospitals from the local jurisdictions? What good does it do to call them? Next slide. The first part of this is what you're going to do. If you see a behavior that's out of place, pause and increase your distance. If you are in a safe position and you have concerns, contact police or security and then follow your department's procedures about filing a safe watch. If you're in one of these situations and you feel unsafe, get to a position of safety and call once you are able to do so. Next slide. I want you to notice the difference in these two reports. So you're at your position of safety and you call in. The first one is, I see someone suspicious in the Terrace View garage. Second, I see a male in a black hoodie pulling on car doors in the Terrace View garage. These are two different scenarios. The second one is built when you practice your awareness and your perception. You're going to begin to pick up on these little clues. You're going to remember them. They're going to stick in your mind when it comes time to file a police report. Understand that I'm coming in either two of these situations. You call, I'm coming. The first one doesn't give me a lot to work with. The second one gives me every tool I need as a first responder to go deal with that situation immediately. And that all was built on your confidence, your awareness, and your perception. Just those few little details gave me everything I needed to act immediately. Next slide. What can police do once we get there? We can be there for you. Doesn't necessarily mean I have to take an action. As a first responder, I want to protect my public. When I came over to here to Carilion to work to protect my staff and my patients, I can be there for you. The second part of that is we cannot assist in addressing safety concerns if we do not know you have them. That's why it's so important to reach out to us and let us know something is happening. Report it at the first possible opportunity to us. On the part of police and security, we can be a presence. And if you feel unsafe, we can escort you back and forth to your vehicle when you arrive and when you leave. As a police officer, I can have a consensual encounter with anyone. Doesn't mean they have to talk to me, but I can go up in public spaces and talk to anyone. And that's very important piece to this. When I was responding as a municipal officer to calls, suspicious person at Walmart or something like that, oftentimes I did not go up and immediately talk to people. I simply had a presence in that space. One, it gave my caller time to leave. And two, it allowed me to see the person's reaction. Because I can promise you this, if I walk into a space and there's someone acting suspicious, the first thing they do is react to me and ask me why I am there. It's probably because they didn't have the best intentions to be there in the first place. As a police officer, I can address a criminal matter. So, as we were looking at that previous example, the pulling on door handles, that's a criminal incident. I can immediately address that. As a police officer, I also have the discretion to affect an outcome. This is really important because it means that in most cases, when you have taken the step to call for a police officer and you see that police officer take an action, it's not because of a call you made. It's not because you got someone in trouble. I have worked through all these steps, and it was a decision or an action on the part of the other party involved that gave that end result. It was not you. It was not your call. It was my discretion to act in that way. That's very important to realize because when we talk about personal safety, we tend to normalize those behaviors. I don't want to get any in trouble. I don't want to cause a scene. You're not. It's the other person's actions that are doing so. Next slide. We have multiple hospitals and outside and smaller providers here at the hospital. We have phone numbers that are included on the badge cards to all of them. And keep in mind for those practices, the family medicine practices and such that are outside of our main hospitals that don't have Carilion Clinic police and security, you're going to be reaching out to 911 directly for those local agency responses. Please, after you do so, call into our dispatch center to let us know what's happened. If it's a situation that caused a safety concern and it did not need an immediate response, even if it's that next day, please reach out to me or to our dispatch center so we can take a look at the incident and we can address any safety concerns that you have. Next slide. I think this discussion on awareness, perception, and confidence, I think it's a very important framework. I think it's a decision-making framework that allows you to empower your safety every day. These are little tools that we can practice and that we can build off of. They can start in the home, and then they can transition into the workplace very well. Let's go to the last slide. I think it's very important to start with that self-empowerment because when you are in a circumstance where you feel unsafe, you're seeing a situation that gives you concern, your body and your mind are going to jump into several decision-making processes. And when we begin to empower ourselves through awareness, perception, and confidence, in those moments, we are going to notice things, our mind's going to interpret things, and our mind is going to make us act. And if we start building these into our everyday lives, these last three are going to be so much easier, and we are going to make much safer decisions that are not rash, that are not immediate, and are going to improve our overall safety and the safety of those around us as well. Next slide. As an educator, I'm a very big advocate of feedback and reflective discussions. So this is the first time I've given this presentation. This is the first time I've put it together. And I would really love to hear your thoughts and ideas on how to make this better, how to improve these topics, scenarios I can build into this discussion for staff later on. But most importantly, I want you to be confident in knowing this. What you do is appreciated to our staff, for our staff members, for our visitors, and for our patients. Thank you for everything that you do every day. Thank you, and let's see what questions we have.
Thank you so much, Officer Watkins. That was wonderful information. I see lots of thumbs up and applause and hearts. I see a question also that says, is there a central line to call security?
For the central line here at RMH, that is going to be 540-981-7911. That is to our main dispatch center.
Thank you. I don't see other specific questions. I know a few people had some issues logging in. I apologize. This was recorded, so the recording will be posted on the Wellness Hub on Inside Carilion, so hopefully you'll get a chance to watch it at a later date.
No, in this role too, as the hospital resource officer for Carilion, I rely very heavily on patient feedback. Reach out to me. My cell phone number is included on my contact card. Please send me an email. If you and your staff want to have further discussions on this safety, I'm happy to come give presentations like this for smaller groups. Happy to visit any of the practices. Happy to stop by any of the hospitals for discussions like this. I really, really value your input and your feedback to make this better. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with me for any ideas or circumstances to improve this conversation further.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful resource you are. And again, I just see lots of thank yous and notes of gratitude and comments about how wonderful this information is. So thank you again, Officer Watkins, for being with us today and for spending time to put this presentation together. Again, as Officer Watkins said, if you have any ideas of information that should be included, please don't hesitate to reach out to him. So we just truly appreciate you being here with us, and I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.